A fire broke out while you are cooking your favorite fried chicken. What will you do? A. Put out the fire using water. B. Put out the fire using fire extinguisher. And C. Put out the fire using wet towel or blanket. What's your answer? You can comment down below.
Disclaimer.
Ni hao, wo jiao, Chinesa. Today, let's talk about a certain fire extinguisher and learn how to use it. Let's start. Showing you now the type of fire extinguishers appropriate for each type of fire. And let's just focus on these one, the ABC powder. This type of fire extinguisher is recommended to be used in offices, banks, hotels, warehouses, material handling vehicle, and even PUVs. This type of extinguishers can put off ordinary fires that are caused by light materials, woods, or papers, which are considered Class A, and flammable materials, the Class B, and also gaseous fires, the Class C. Now, these are the three elements of fire: oxygen, heat, and fuel. These three elements must be present to produce a chemical reaction that eventually become a fire. For someone like me who have experienced cooking using a firewood, then you have already noticed by now that to put out a fire after cooking, we just set aside the firewoods and the fire will die down. That's because we eliminate one of the three elements, which is the fuel. So now that we have better understanding about it, let's proceed to knowing the stages of fire development. Number 1, incipient. Number 2, growth. Number 3, fully developed. And number 4, it's decay. You can look it up on the website. I've put it on the description below. It's firefightergarage.com. ABC fire extinguisher can completely put out fire in the incipient stage, where the fire has just begun. The question is, how can we identify, or how do we know if the fire is still in its incipient stage? We can identify it by factors such as: number 1, the fire has not affected anything beyond its immediate vicinity. So, hindi pa nakakalat yung apoy. And second, it's smoke has not reduced visibility and people around can still breathe. And number 3, people in the area can still escape without too much trouble. And number 4, its heat is relatively low. And number 5, fire alarm sounds. So these are the indications or factors to identify if the fire is in the stage where it is still safe to use fire extinguisher. Next are do's and don'ts. Number 1, be aware or notice where the wind is blowing to and position yourself facing in that direction. So if you are here, this is where you are. The fire is here. So you have to be aware, or you have to notice the wind should be blowing from here to here. Okay, so you are here and the fire is here. And the wind should be blowing from this direction towards this direction. Okay, you are facing to where the wind is blowing to. So it's like you are covering the fire from the wind. Number 2, you should stay away 6 to 8 feet from the flame. Number 3, it's be aware of flammable materials within the vicinity. And number 4, fire extinguishers should not be used in enclosed spaces, as the dry powder in the extinguisher can be easily inhaled. So those are our 4 do's and don'ts. You have to remember that. Now that we're done with all those informations, let's dive into learning how to use it. Come on. This is the ABC fire extinguisher. Take note, inspection records should be updated monthly. I'm filming this last May 26. As you can see here, it is updated. Good job, safety! Let's talk now the parts of a fire extinguisher. This is the handle. This is where you hold to lift the fire extinguisher. And this is the lever, the operating handle. This is where you squeeze so that the powder will come out. This is the pressure gauge where you can check the current pressure and check if it hasn't been used or damaged. And this is the seal, the safety pin, the cylinder or body. Now this is the discharge hose and the nozzle. When you position to put out a fire, this is not the right way. Do not hold the discharge hose. Instead, hold firmly near the nozzle so that it will not get swayed by pressure. Next, do not bother getting rid of the seal. Instead, twist the safety pin and it will snap on its own. For emergency, remember the T-pass. T for twist the pin, pull the pin, aim the nozzle towards the base of the fire, squeeze the lever, and sweep. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully you have learned a bit from this video, because our objective is to create or provide awareness for everyone so that we can have, or we will have, the knowledge necessary to be used in case of emergency. Sayonara!